From across the black seas of infinity, and beyond the mists of time, Yog-Sothoth watches, always waiting. For he is the guardian between worlds, and he alone holds the key to unlock the gate. For when the ancient rites have been spoken, and the lords of darkness have awoken, only then shall the gate between the stars once more be open. Yog-Sothoth is an enormous cosmic entity with power that we as humans cannot comprehend, power that may even rival the great creator of all, Azathoth. In terms of overall size, Yog-Sothoth is undoubtedly one of the biggest entities in the entirety of the mythos, dwarfing over Cthulhu in the same way that he would dwarf over humanity. He is an all-knowing, all-seeing, and all-powerful being that can be found just outside of the universe. He watches all from the outside and nothing can be hidden from him. He is the embodiment of time and space and spans across an infinite number of universes. He and the multiverse are one. Yog-Sothoth is said to be immortal and invulnerable, and being able to see all means he possesses a level of intelligence that we cannot imagine. He does however share this forbidden knowledge with those that summon him, but before the deity can be summoned, a human life must be sacrificed and unspeakable acts must be committed, for such knowledge always comes with a price. Born from the nameless mist, and much like the other outer gods, his true form is inconceivable to humanity, and so he's often described in a variety of different ways depending on the story. The most common manifestation of Yog-Sothoth is as an enormous mass of glowing orbs that are continuously merging. These orbs eventually grow so big that they break apart from each other, and then repeat the process of growing and merging in a continuous loop. There are also some descriptions of numerous eyes and flailing tendrils. This particular depiction I personally think is quite fitting, as time, space, and a universe is in constant flux, always moving and always changing, so having this represented in Yog-Sothoth's appearance really does highlight this aspect of his character. Now, as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult to picture a deity that has been described to you as being everywhere and everything, which is why Yog-Sothoth, much like Nyarlathotep, has several avatars which provide numerous aliases and nicknames, ranging from the Lurker at the Threshold and the Beyond One, to the Key in the Gate and the Opener of the Way. The name Yog-Sothoth was first mentioned in Lovecraft's novella, The Case of Charles Dexter Ward, which was written in 1927 and then published in 1941. We don't actually get to meet Yog-Sothoth here, but his name is mentioned as part of an incantation. Lovecraft would then go on to mention Yog-Sothoth in several other stories, with the most noticeable being the Dunwich Horror. In this story, Yog-Sothoth is the father of Wilbur Whately, a hideous-looking young boy who matures and ages abnormally quick. Because of his strange appearance, Wilbur and his family have been shunned from society, but his grandfather then indoctrinates him into the study of witchcraft and dark rituals. Wilbur and his grandfather soon become aware of an invisible entity that lives on their farm. This entity continuously grows until it reaches the size of the entire farmhouse. Wilbur's grandfather does die, and his mother disappears, leaving him as the only person left to look after this entity. But Wilbur himself has his own plan, as he wishes to summon the Great Old Ones, but his family's copy of the Necronomicon is missing the required pages. He then breaks into the local university to find these missing pages, but he's unfortunately killed by a guard dog. His corpse strangely enough just melts, leaving no evidence of his death. With no one left to look after this invisible entity, the Whately farmhouse explodes and the monster rampages through Dunwich, killing numerous families and policemen. With help from professors from the local university, a spell is cast, and with the use of magic powder, the entity is finally revealed. The monster then makes it known that its twin brother was Wilbur, but where Wilbur resembled a human, his brother much closer resembled their father, Yog-Sothoth. The spell that was cast would eventually destroy this entity, leaving the small town of Dunwich to recover from the terrors that they had just witnessed. The Dunwich Horror is one of my favourite pieces of Lovecraft's work, and it's a story that I may actually do a reading on for you guys in a future video. I may even discuss the life of Wilbur Whately in some greater detail. Yog-Sothoth became a deity used in many of Lovecraft's stories and the works of many other influential writers, with August Derleth being one of the most noticeable. Lovecraft himself never really used the term the Cthulhu Mythos, and many still refer to his works as the Yog-Sothoth Mythos or Yog-Sothory. For anyone looking to get into the works of Lovecraft and the Cthulhu Mythos, or just learn about Yog-Sothoth in general, the Dunwich Horror is definitely a great introduction, and one that I would recommend. If you have any stories featuring Yog-Sothoth that you feel like are worth a mention, or you'd just like to discuss the deity in general, then let me know in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.